I'll be honest. I am not. I do not have the. You know, I don't feel like I have adequate knowledge. I feel like my knowledge is still limited of our history, the history of our lineage, of our rituals, of how our institutions are organized and why, and the meaning of various titles. And I have some understanding of it, I think, but I'm still growing into this. But what I think I do understand is this: that the Roshi status, first of all, it signifies that you have quote unquote completed your Zen training. But that by no means that your Zen training is over. It's you can just you can just hang up the gi and hakama, take your hara belt off, and just go have a drink on the beach. That's not it at all. It's like you have graduated now to a stage in your own training where you are your own Roshi is confident that you can train by yourself and that you can also guide others along the way in their own training. Another core part of becoming a Roshi is the koan training that you do pass through to become a Roshi. You do pass through a series of koans. I can say that there is a long history, and we see this in the choka, in the okyo, where we go through, the India scene and the China scene and the Japan scene, where we're just chanting names. That is the lineage of one teacher to the next. The teacher prior has given Inka to the next teacher, who is then made what we would call a Roshi. The formal component of Inka is something that is given. Inka just means a stamp. And so Gordon Green Roshi was the Roshi who gave me Inka. And that was kind of the formal public, you are now a Roshi, and you're to be recognized in this way. However, it's much more than just a formality. There is a there is a kind of transmission that does happen, and it's a very subtle thing, and it happens in the very intimate space of sanzen. And those of you who have trained in sanzen, um, I would be surprised if you have not experienced this in some way during your sanzen training. That there's a tremendous compassion and power, and also ferocity, a ferocious compassion that your teacher transmits to you during sanzen. And is your body able to receive it? In some ways, I was raised Catholic. It often reminds me of the doctrine of grace. That there is this unconditional love from God in the Christian tradition. It's always available to you. It is the recipient capable of receiving that, or opening themselves and allowing them to receive that. And in my experience with Sanzen, that transmission was always available to me, but was my body, was my mind, and was my heart open to receiving that? I'll say one last thing, and that is that my Sanzen teacher for many years was Stephen Roshi, as I mentioned earlier, and were profound moments of Sanzen training with him. And certainly my last meetings with him were very special. And after that, I can say my Zazen was never the same. I felt a clear power, a clear vibration coming through me. It was much more accessible through my zazen. after those final meetings before he passed, and it felt like a very clear transmission of what he had to offer to me. And yet, when I think, when I feel, it's not a thinking sensation, it's a feeling sensation. When I feel that vibration, when I'm in zazen, I feel his presence, and yet I feel such a clear, pure presence. It's him, and yet it's not him. As if there is a long lineage of deep compassion that has been transmitted. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for your question, Sarah.